everyone. I miss you. It's been a couple of weeks, so it's so nice to be back with you all. It's like August. Yesterday, I know it was August 8th, and today, August 9th. And all of a sudden, we're like, what's going on? How is it August already? We've only got a few more weeks of active summer,
Right? I know.
Like what? How did that happen so quick?
Seriously. And is it 5 weeks to convention? Like, It is the final countdown, folks.
I mean, it's getting close.
Yep. Getting excited.
So good. But I love what you're talking about. What are you feeling grateful for today? And abundance. I was doing a lot of the last little bit. I've been back into more of my own vision creation and writing and visualization and intention setting and the power of abundance. There's a book you and I have talked about a little bit off and on this year called The Happy Pocket Full of Money. And I'm listening back to that again for a second time, and there's some real gems in it. And have any of you read this book? I know some of you have. Well, this book, right, it's just talking about tuning into what is and tuning into what you do desire and the power of affirming that and the I am statements, but just tuning into it's like whoever was saying as I was just hopping on, they're feeling grateful for abundance everywhere. Right. And one of the reasons I love being in nature, over the weekend, we went and visited Tara and Michael out in Missouri. They've bought this amazing homestead in literally, Andy, like the middle of nowhere. Like you fly in and then drive almost 3 hours to get to where they're at, kind of thing. And beautiful, about 80 plus acres, all these gorgeous farm animals. And on one particular day, we went in to the little town and the Mennonite community and Amish community. And my gosh, it was so peaceful and so beautiful. And the vibrant foods like these tomatoes, and they had these gorgeous, like organic lemons, like 6 for $1. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
And I bought all these spices for baking and star of anise and whole nutmegs. And I brought some things home. It just was, and I bought myself a bonnet too. You're not going to No, you're not going to get to see it, but several of us bought bonnets. And anyway, the point of what I'm telling you is just the vibrancy of even Mother Earth, right? When you just turn into Mother Earth all year round, like whatever season we're in, there's just so much beauty and so much abundance. And when you think of that, and it's practicing tuning in, and we've said this before, but it's one of those worth repeating because it's not top of mind. Wayne Dyer, one of my very favorite quotes of his of all time, which is hard to pick because he has such a rich treasure trove of content. But he would say this statement where he would say, abundance is not something we acquire, yet something we tune into. And I love the word tuning, right? Tune into. It's like tuning into frequency. And all of you, again, you think about, what frequency am I at this morning? What frequency was I at yesterday or last week and whatnot? And frequency as it's changing, right? But the power of tuning into those thoughts, and those thoughts create feelings, right? I love to be reminded often you're feeling what you're thinking, and the power of like, am I thinking abundance type thoughts, wealthy thoughts? Am I thinking thoughts of vibrancy and health and happiness? Am I choosing with that intention? And one of the things I was listening to in the Happy Pocket Full of Money book, he was talking about, in essence, rather than working at being happy, just choose to be happy, like drop into it. And the choice of that, and just the awareness, like, I'm going to choose in. And so this morning, I just invite us to be aware of that we do have choice. And we also have tools, right? Because I'm human too. And sometimes this human thing in a human skin suit is like, whoa, it's a lot of all the feels. You have also, of course, all the great work Andy and Natalie are up to in the world, Essential Emotions, and their training in their book. I hope you're going to come to that class on Wednesday before convention. But the point being is like, what are we tuning into? What's the vibrancy? What's the frequency? Knowing that we can. And even if you're just in this moment right now, wherever you are, is start to just become aware of all the good that's around you in this moment. if you're here with us live or listening back to this call, you're tapped into electricity and or technology, and realize how incredible that is, let alone you likely are, if you're in a home or an office building, there's probably running water, clean water, right? Food and so forth. Anyway, however you need to walk to tune into this. But for me, one of the fastest ways to dial in and or reset is to get outside or get outdoors in any form. And sometimes and often that means getting my feet on the ground. I also love our oils in balance and is it Midnight Forest? Is that what it's called? Midnight Forest is the one with the green label.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, I just love that essential oil. So anyway, it was just, I'm just helping. I love what you were saying about that, is the power of what you're tuning into, because love's everything is energy. And it's like, where are you aligned? And the other thing, I wrote this flying home. You know how air travel, it just always, I mean, talk about miracle. You're like, hey, get in a metal can and then launch yourself into the air. And you're like, okay. You know, when you think about getting on an airplane, get in a metal tube, put on a seatbelt in the metal tube and eat some snacks, and we're going to launch you into the air. And you're like, okay, that's a good idea. You know what I'm saying, loves? So anyway, it's one of these things where when you're traveling, and I was, you're up, and I always, if I can, pick a window seat. And because I love seeing, the clouds and the land below and just all of that magic. And as I wrote this on my Instagram stories a few days ago when we were flying home, is be in that flow of trust. Are you trusting? Because when you're in trust, you can be lighthearted about things. And you're much more in that flow, like life's working in my favor. God has my back. I don't know how maybe this situation or this circumstance or scenario is going to work out. But the truth is, like, if be in the flow, there's miracles around us all the time. And when we're in the place of trust and surrender, as my friend Coop Blackson says, trust and surrender equals magic. And on the flip side, when we're in control or fear, we're creating suffering. And so a lot of that, again, it's just practicing, and we're in trust. And to me, often at times, when I feel my own anxiety, the opposite of anxiety we might think is peace. And I just invite us to perhaps expand that out, that the opposite of anxiety is trust. And peace is a fruit of trust. And so anyway, these are just some thoughts similar. I'd love, right when I tuned in and dropped in with y'all this morning, is just the awareness and the reminders around there is abundance. What frequency are we on? Are we seeing the miracles? Are we breathing? Are we centering our nervous systems? Are we using our oils? Are we tapping into Mother Nature? Are we using the power of these things that we have accessible to help support us? And in doing that, we can come back to being more, again, like, ooh, vision and creation. And you're aligned with things like, I am wealthy. I am vibrant. I am healthy. I am in joy. I'm in trust. What magic or what creation is going to happen here today? It's powerful. So thank you for letting me come back again and hang out with the cool kids this morning. Missed you all. We've been traveling and playing, and it was like, went to Jackson Hole. My bonus son got married up there, he and his beautiful bride, and we spent some extra time up there to do Yellowstone and Grand Tetons and hiking and huckleberry fudge ice cream. I'm telling you, Andy, I found us a new treat. It's like, we might have to ship this ice cream to us because it's a very certain brand that's not in Utah.
I wonder if there's a way to have like your own ice cream machine that made huckleberry fudge ice cream.
Oh,
that's something to look into.
Hey, listen.
If we're talking about tapping into abundance.
Yes, dropping into that. So it was so fun and had just such a beautiful time. And then we were off to Missouri last weekend to celebrate a dear friend of ours' birthday, and who's moved out there with, again, a large homestead. Bobby, I think, asked what part of Missouri, and she's probably about 40 minutes outside of Branson, or no, outside of
Kansas City.
Mm-mm.
No. Independence?
Springfield.
Oh,
Yeah. We're like, oh yeah. I mean, it was just, and of course, when we landed and it was so hot and muggy,
oh,
and the real moment for me was like, I did day one hair. Okay. We're going to move from spiritual to real, like, okay, surface level. But how many of you know what I'm talking? How many of you are so grateful for the invention of dry shampoo? How many? Just tell me the truth. How many of you are so grateful for dry shampoo? I'm grateful for dry shampoo, Andy, and self tanner. You've probably never used self tanner, right?
we've gotten the comments, lifesaver, miracle, both. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like, because I don't know if I am I'm a real redhead. So I'm not exactly ever known for my tan, just saying, but that's okay. Anyway, dry shampoo has changed the game, because when I do the mane, this hair does, I don't wake up with this hair, just to be real clear. Okay. And the hair, if I'm going to do it from scratch, my husband knows it's called day one hair, right? It's day one hair. And which there's a funny story to that too, but it's like I blow my hair dry and then we curl it. And then I only do that like twice a week. Not that you really cared to know, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's like, because I don't want to put that much heat on my hair that regularly. So because I'm like, I'm not going to haul all my hair stuff out to Missouri. Thursday, when we flew out, was a day one hair. I did my hair from scratch. That's like 40 minutes I'm never going to get back, Andy, in my life. Because the second we got off that airplane, it was so muggy, so humid. I mean, zing. And all of a sudden my hair was like dead, just like meh, and then frizzy. And it was just a real treat. So I'm just saying, like, that humidity is not playing. It's not playing around. We get hot in Utah, but it's dry heat. We're desert heat. So I was like, whew. But anyway, dry shampoo, super grateful for it. I don't know how we got here. I'm not sure how we started talking about this.
There's just so much to be grateful for. Let's just be
So
honest.
much. So much to be grateful for.
Awesome. Well, should we jump into some coaching?
I think we should. It's so nice to be back. Sure love you guys.
So raise your hand and we would love to have any kind of conversation about where your blocks are, where your goals are, where you're feeling stuck, and how we can best support you in that process. So just raise your hand and we will bring you on live. And you can do that with or without video, but it's so nice to have a live conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what's up for you? And whether you're like, hey, how do I help shift my mood? Or how do I help this with my team? Or need support with my sales or growth or conversion, whatever is up for you. I'd love to support you. Andy, how have you been though the last 2 weeks?
You know what? I have been so good. It's peach season. And so we're going through like a box of peaches about every 4 days with our family. And nothing says abundance to me like a fresh box of Utah peaches.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they're still in season when y'all come out for convention, but definitely grab yourself some. They're a life changer. So Terry is on with us live. Welcome, Terry.
Yay.
So I'm in day one hair, haven't done my hair all the way, but
We love day one hair, right? It's fresh. I just can't do that every day.
So I need help with, I took Tiffany's class, Shared Success. And so I've been trying to up level my confidence and doing things. So I signed up for a Reclaim Your Health event. And I signed up for tier 3, which is the highest, which is way out of my comfort zone. And so we got approved and it's on September 30th. And now I'm just kind of questioning, did I do the right thing? So any help with that would be appreciated.
Awesome. Well, way to play big, way to have a vision and declare it and call it into your experience. So that is step one, right? I love that. So reclaim your health is such a great. I love that doTERRA has made so much effort and really dialed in this collaboration between corporate and the field. And here's the good news: like, you can shoot for the moon, and if you land among the stars, like, that's okay, right? Like, maybe we shot for a tier 3, but we don't quite get the numbers. Like, that's okay, right? So we actually had that experience too during the spring. We did a Reclaim Your Health, and we thought we could do 2 of the biggest type events. I think they're called tier 1, and we did one, but our second one, we only had, I think you're supposed to have 100 people for the tier 1, or is it 200? Anyways, we didn't have the numbers. We only had like 80 people show up for the second one, and that's okay. 80 people were blessed by that event, and we had a great event. And so I think the point is that we keep getting back in the arena, and we keep showing up, we keep inviting, we keep declaring, and even when reality doesn't quite catch up with our vision, we keep declaring it. We keep holding that space. And that's exactly, what Tiffany is coaching us every single week, is just being so committed to that vision and that space that eventually it will catch up. Like, being in that, moving mentally to that zip code before the zip code shows up to you, really is the name of the game. So I just love that you're playing big, you're shooting for it, and we're going to hold space and be grateful for everything that shows up, and we're going to move and create massive action that supports that new zip code, right?
So what did you do to market your Reclaim Your Health event?
So we found the most critical thing was personal contact with local leaders. It's great to make a Facebook post. It's great to send out an email. But at the end of the day, the thing that moved the needle the most was having buy-in from our top leaders, because they're the ones who are working with their leaders and their leaders, and like, it trickles down, right? And so it doesn't have to be people on your team, especially when, it doesn't matter, like, cross team is the most powerful thing. So that is the most leveraged event, but then also lots of personal inviting. Like, Natalie and I had, I don't know, a dozen or so of our own personal guests at these events. And so, but to get 200 people, obviously you've got to have a lot of people inviting. So getting the word, and it wasn't just like sending a text. It's like, hey, I'm going to hop on the phone and I'm going to talk to Laura Jacobs, who also lives here in Alpine. And we're going to say, hey, what do we, what's the message? What are the needs? How can we get the most bang for our buck? And so she's got text groups, and she's got her Enroll Pro, and she's working her team. The Stevens, I know they had quite a few leaders here. We just had a lot of people bringing lots of leaders. Kelly King, she showed up and brought a lot of her leaders. So it's just, it's a team effort. And so that's the key there.
So is it your leaders that you want to be at this Reclaim Your Health, or is it new people?
Well, so the leaders are bringing their prospects.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So yeah, it's good to have both, right? Like the leaders, they catch the vision. I can't tell you how many of my leaders still don't quite get the power of MetaPower, like the beauty and the universality of MetaPower. Like, it's a game changer. And so to have Dr. Not Oscar Thorpe, it was Brannick Riggs, speak to that was so good. And that part was as needed for the leaders as it was for the new prospects. But yeah, you're right. The goal of the event is to get prospects there. Obviously, we want to create enrollments. We want to create momentum. And so it's both.
So I kind of thought that either Dr. Riggs or somebody would be attending, with it being the largest group. But I guess it's just a corporate, not just, I shouldn't say that. It's a corporate person bringing the information, and I guess they're wanting me to run it. And I
Wow.
kind of thought that it was not going to be that way. So I think that has got me more overwhelmed of, well, I thought I was getting somebody to come help me with it, and
Well,
that's
they
why I
are.
signed up for the biggest.
Yeah. Well, I think tier 1 is the biggest, not tier 3. And tier 1 is where you do get a doctor, like someone from the scientific board. I believe that tiers 2 and 3, you still get corporate, but it's not from the scientific advisory board.
So maybe I signed up for the wrong one. But
Yeah,
I
tier,
thought
tier
I
1 is the
signed up.
biggest.
Tier 1 is?
Yeah, I think I believe it's 200 people for tier 1.
Oh, yeah. I only signed up for the 100 people. I thought that was a pretty good goal.
It
for my
is. That's a
first event.
fantastic one. Yeah. So when it
But
comes
it's all
to
Tiffany's fault because, she said, go for it. No, it's not Tiffany's fault at all. I love Tiffany. So, but I'm really excited, and I'm really hoping that, and I really feel like a lot of people are going to attend. We've never had a doTERRA event in Prescott. And so I think it's going to be way exciting. I'm just getting those anxious feelings of maybe I signed up for too much. So I appreciate
Well,
those.
yeah, I would say that the stretch is the thing that makes us grow. Like it's not staying in your comfort zone that's going to give you the maximum growth of your team, the maximum personal growth. It's the stretch. So go for the size of event that will stretch you. Absolutely.
And then what event or what type of activities, because I wasn't able to go to one in spring. She said it was very hands-on, and in these fall events, they're going to have the opportunity to buy a convention kit, and they'll learn about convention product. Do you have any tips or suggestions of things that you learned when you did yours that I might avoid on mine?
Sure. So we did samples of MetaPower. And so we just had a blender. We did just the Advantage in water. It was super simple, just those little teeny cups. So we didn't have to do a ton. Let people try it, say, oh yeah, this tastes great. I could do this every day. We also had some different tables set up. One of them was for lifelong vitality. One of them was for sun care. I'm trying to remember. I think we had one for impact. So it was all about the healing hands. So you can, I think there's also a kind of a survey that came with the Reclaim Your Health event. And so it's basically like a health survey, just taking people through all areas of their health, but a lot of focus on metabolic. So those were the tables that I remember. Yeah. And the cool thing is, like Bobby's saying, doTERRA gives you a PowerPoint, and you could literally read off the PowerPoint and do fantastic. The PowerPoint is too long for any good event to be. And so you definitely want to be selective and just pick the parts you're passionate about. And then corporate will do their part of that PowerPoint. So just get clear on which parts you're passionate about. Maybe collaborate with other local leaders so that you can mix up, have multiple presenters. We spoke for a bit. Laura Jacobs did a big part, and then Dr. Riggs. So yeah. Tiff, I'd love to hear what coaching you have for Terry.
Well, one, it's so good to see you, Terry. And I'm just so proud of you. I really am. And here's the thing, love. I was listening to a podcast literally just yesterday that was talking about this very thing, that when you're wanting to up level, you stretch and grow and put your stake in the ground, and you whether it's the event or some kind of, but you're committed, and you're committed like financially, and like, here we go, and let's make this happen. And it's a great growth opportunity for sure. And I think a few things to help Andy's already touched on most of this. So I think it's just reinforcing and putting some pins in that. But it's like, one is visiting that vision, is seeing like, what's the intention, how you see yourself there, see yourself happy and see yourself with a room full of people. And we trust that the right people will be there. And you hold that intention, like this blessing, this event is to be a blessing. It's to help inspire and educate and encourage the people that are going to be there, whether again, you're existing leaders or team members to, brand new individuals. And so I just invite you, I just invite you to think about that for, visiting that feeling and that vision is like the power and that intention of why are you doing the event? And I want you to visit that every day. Here's my intention of why I'm doing the event. Add value, inspire, encourage, expand, right? And coming home to that, it's so powerful to visit your vision and the intention of why you're doing it. And then coming back to the energy of it's like a party. Every time I host a live event, similar, and it's like you can get in the weeds about things and the details, or wait, I'm not seeing as many signups. But it's coming back to that energy of it. And then on the logistical or the strategic side is absolutely is like, I want you to share it on social, to your email list if applicable, but the power of that personal reach out. And you remember that from when we worked together formally, is the goal of nourishing, a certain amount of relationships every week, regardless. But I would just set those goals, like you're reaching out, whether you're calling or texting, you're inviting. I would love to have you part of this. It's going to be an inspiring experience. Would love to have you part of it. And so, the power of that personal invitation is so effective, right? I mean, while I love my email list and I love social media and different ways that you can promote something in a large quantity, the most still for my marketing in my own business is the power of that personal reach out.
So how many people do you think I will need to reach out to get 90 people there? Like double that amount or triple that amount or?
It just depends. It depends on where they're at. And again, it's like, I would even lead, with questions that sometimes too, or tuck questions into when you're inviting them is like, hey, and is health one of your goals in this season of your life? To feel better, to have more energy, to feel more vibrant. Whether that for you want to sleep better or your gut health or your emotional stress, or immunity as we had, all those things as we head back to school, things like that. But I would you could even ask some questions, whether you're asking directly or rhetorically, but, it's like the power of that. And then how, people that come. And then you could also do, invite the people who've already signed up, or as they signed up, invite them to bring a friend.
I'm wondering, I don't know if what doTERRA provides. I mean, I didn't know if they provided a free oil or different things like that, or if I need to do that, or if I'm trying to do too much and just having this event should be, it should be spectacular. So I don't know.
I know that they have offered door prizes, like a free oil in the past based on the size of event. And by the way, I was wrong on the tiers. You were right. So tier 1 is the smallest, 2 the next biggest, 3 is the next biggest, and tier 4 is the biggest. So tier 4 is what we were going for with the 200. You're right. Tier 3 is 100. So I apologize. In terms of the free product, they were doing that with the spring tour. I don't know if they're doing that with the fall tour, if somebody else can chime in on that. If doTERRA is not doing that, I would not try to take that on. I think that's too much. I think giving people an oil experience while they're there is enough. So just bring your oils, and you could have one booth that's Aroma Touch hand massage. You could have a whole deep blue table where people can try a deep blue stick and they can try a deep blue rub. And so that would be my advice. Don't make it too complicated. That's where corporate can do a great job of simplifying.
So my original goal was to do it in the morning. And then once everybody was there, to have kind of break off sessions to go to after the Reclaim Your Health event. But corporate says that the 3-hour period is kind of a max for everybody. They're kind of tired after that point. Do you think?
Totally agree. I wouldn't go longer than 3 hours.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And I enjoy these calls every week. I love seeing you and Tiffany, and I just appreciate all that you're doing for us. And we are coming, my son and I are coming to the retreats before.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So
look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So
awesome. Thanks so much for hopping on with us, Terry.
Love it. And I think that's good coaching for all of us all year round, is just dropping back into the vision, the intention, and the power of how for this experience, like it's a particular event, but what you're all up to is like regularly inviting people into feeling better and having tools and being part of that, right? And again, the more that I see it is you're inviting people to a really fun party, and it's like, ooh, come be part of this, come be part of this, come be part of this, come be part of this. And infuse yourself, invest, like up level, expand and encourage your life in a positive way. I think there's so much richness to holding that kind of energy frequency, right? Like when we talk about frequency and that it's going to be a blessing. Sometimes for all of us, where we can get snagged in sales and marketing is we make it really personal about ourselves, right? Like, oh, I'm not seeing everyone sign up, or it's a slower, I'm not seeing it, or this or that person didn't say yes. And then we start to really take things personally. We get in the energy of like, oh, because it feels like the taste of, or the touch into rejection, right? I mean, this is why when most people, the biggest issue with sales is the fear of rejection. And so it's like, oh, it's not happening. And whether you're asked, working with someone one-on-one or inviting them to an event, and the more that you can train your brain, and that is, it's a training. And you remind your brain, that's right, this is the energy and this is the frequency and this is what I'm about, is I'm here to be a blessing to them. I'm here to invite them to this space. I'm here to help support their health and their journey, their wellness, their up level. And the power of that, loves, when you hold vision like that and that frequency, that it's about them and serving them and inviting them and come be part of this. And again, that's what I'm saying. We practice this, you train into it, because it's really easy that if you're hosting an event or reaching out to do one-on-one connections about your products, it's easy to get into like, oh, well, I'm not seeing as many signups and maybe I shouldn't be doing the event. And it's like, no, hold the vision and continue to invite, and you continue to invite and you continue to invite. But your inviting can stay really clean energy if it's like, I'm here to be of service to them. Versus my inviting is, do you like me? This means so much about me personally. Validate me, because if you sign up, it must mean I'm good. If you don't sign up, it must mean I'm not, or you like me or reject me. And the more we can clean up the energy and come home centering again and again, that it's like, hold the post, right? We're here to serve. We're here to love. We're here to be a blessing. They say yes, cool, that's about them. They say no, cool, that's about them. They don't respond at all, cool, that's about them. If it's timing and they're going to come next time, that's about them. And the more that, again, we just come back to that, I think is so powerful. So Terry, thank you for that. And I'm so proud you're going to put yourself in, you're putting yourself out there and holding that space. I do love too, one of the comments Bobby said is that, your leaders can donate prizes too. And, you can have yourself and other people in your organization that are doing presentations or supporting or greeting or helping with the event too, is definitely enroll other folks to be part of the experience and the creation with you.
Mm-hmm. So good. All right, we've got a question from Marie. She's saying, how much follow-up is too much follow-up? So at what point are we, becoming the annoying friend who just won't drop it? Like, what would you say on that, Tiff? How much?
No, I'm going to be really strong on this. So buckle up.
Look out, I can tell.
I just braced myself. I'm like, here we most, I'm going to be so clear about this because the majority of you aren't being, persistent enough, strong enough. And what I was just saying is tapping exactly into this, is that your fear, that's exactly the fear that you have is, am I being the annoying friend? Am I being the annoying, like pushy salesperson? And that is every person's fear when it comes to sales. And because that's so the fear, we get really timid, like, we're timid, right? Most of you couldn't be too bold or too pushy if you tried. Like, you're just these genuinely good, kind, desire to help people. And so I'm going to be for sure clear that because more often than not, the majority of you listening are going to be hanging out in the camp of being more timid than you are being too bold. Does that make sense? And so, but to this question, again, is I think that a great way to help with pacing is asking questions, right? Is that questions when they're our go-to skill set where we're asking, you're taking a pulse. People give you clarity and feedback. And they'll tell you, right? Because some people you're going to need to nourish 8 times before they're going to be ready. Some people it's going to be twice. Some it might be, you might know them for 4 years and they see you regularly sharing and inviting. And then they go, I get the vision, I'm ready. Is the power of showing up. But yes, I agree is you probably don't want to call them every day. Hey, are you ready to buy? Ready to buy, ready to buy. And that's not the question we're asking, is that we're tuning in. It's like, hey, this is something I'm just curious. Keep in mind, write that for me in your notes. That's a little treasure trove of gold. You can ask anything you want with the bridge. I'm just curious. I'm just curious, how have you and your family been feeling lately? How's your health? How's your energy? Are there any things that are up for you? Is the more that we are in diagnostic and that we're asking and that we're, and then again, sharing is like, gosh. And the more again is the combination is you're living into your own health habits and your own wellness. People naturally ask you, they're like, oh, you're looking great. Or, how you feel, you look like you feel good or you've lost this weight or this is up for you or whatnot. Naturally there's kind of a magnetism there. But again, I think that how much is too much? There's no textbook, like every person you need to contact, 4 times. Some it will be less, some it will be more. But we do know that the power of consistency, but the more, again, back to what I was just sharing about with Terry, the more we make it about them and that we're, hey, how are you? Where are you at? Is that something you'd like to experience? Is that something you'd like to sample? What's up for you? And I can, and you meet them that your questions will help you take a pulse. And if someone's just like, this just isn't my thing, I'm not interested. Great. Anytime someone says that to me, I then just simply say, well, you know what? Thank you. And if and when in the future, there's some things that are up for you health-wise, or you'd like more this or that, I'd love to support you there and feel free to reach out. Right. Or if someone says, no, it's not right for me right now. Okay. Totally understand that. Would it be okay if I reach out to you and where I'm doing my next gathering? And in the meantime, if there's things I could support you with your health or with your family, as regularly, we just keep an open door and we keep asking questions.
I love that. So good. I love another question that came through on MetaPower. So somebody said they've got people who don't love the taste or the smell of the advantage. And so how do you help people overcome that? So Tiffany suggested, just do a small little shot instead of making it like a full drink, just do a little shot and then you're just throwing it back fast. You could chase it with water, but a lot of people are saying just adding a citrus oil to the drink makes all the difference. Back at the Blue and Presidential Summit back in December, they had a sample where they had made a mix of MetaPower Advantage, and it tastes just like Orange Julius. Now, I know this is going to date me, but how many of you remember Orange Julius? Okay. It was the one in the mall right next to Cinnabon. And I'm sure it was so unhealthy for you. But man, that was such a memory. Like
Mhm.
Orange Julius.
Right next to hot dog on a stick. Who doesn't want a hot dog on a stick? But yes, Orange Julius is, so keep sharing. So they had it mixed in a certain way.
Yeah, so I've been looking for that recipe so I could share it. I can't find it right now, but I'm going to post it on the Facebook page. I think it's on Natalie's phone. So anybody who really wants to up level their advantage game, it is delicious. Like it was thick and it was rich and anyways. So a little flashback to the past there.
I think too with this as well is that, again, like, is it, I mean, when I think of MetaPower, is it like, oh my gosh, it's a root beer float? No, but I think about, again, the mindset for me, and the mindset I would guide people into is the outcome and the benefits, right? Is it's like, I'm taking my collagen shot, my beauty shot, and for me, again, I mix mine in a small amount of water and I just do. I'm not trying to drink it as like a drink. I'm trying to just, it's like, but I'm seeing it as like, hey, I just stepped up to, at the wellness, bar at my local juicery and just paid $5 for an awesome collagen shot. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, hey, cool. I'm getting high quality collagen for my hair, skin, nails, my body, my organs, my whole everything. And so I know, again, like some people, various tastes, I'm pretty neutral to the taste. It's not like I don't love it, but I also don't like, oh, I can't stand it. It's just, it is what it's just neutral. But I do a small shot of it, get it in, but it's more the mindset is like, cool, I'm strengthening my hair, my skin, my nails, it's like you're seeing it as this outcome. And I'd call it a beauty shot, or your beauty elixir or something of that nature. I know the only benefits are not beauty oriented, but in terms of those healthy things that as we age, we're losing collagen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so the power of this product is so vibrant. And I think if we can help people catch the vision of it, man, it's such a game changer for them.
Totally. So true. Yes, Karina, the Orange Julius is with the advantage. It's just a fun way to package it and make it taste absolutely delicious. Jackie's saying, people are ordering it, but then the first time they open an advantage, they won't even try it because they can't get past the smell. So I think what Tiffany's saying is spot on. Like it's all about the promoting the benefits and even maybe doing some proactive, like, hey, this is how I take it. I like to add a drop of citrus oil, and that creates the flavor that I love. So just doing some proactive education. Maybe when you're doing your wellness consult, going through the Live Guide, you could share your favorite way of taking MetaPower advantage. And so just being, forward thinking there, I think makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm. And I'd also be mindful, loves, that even though if you've received that feedback, that you aren't like regularly then making an association yourself to, oh, I'm going to get this response every time. You're not. But if you it's almost like, oh, I'm afraid and I get it. Some people, they're not going to like the smell, not going to like the taste. And that, you share that with them. I'm not even aware of its smell. So that tells you, like, every person's body is different, right? Our taste buds and our sense of smell. And it's not that, I think the important thing is we don't dismiss them, but we let them be heard. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it impacts people differently. I would just say that, and people experience it differently. Here's how, for me, and the power of it, it's so good for these benefits. I just see it as like, this is my beauty elixir I'm taking every day, right? That rather than, doing this, and this is what I'm choosing to invest in. But you hold the space and you just neutralize it. They can express that. And be like, oh, I don't love the smell of this, that, and the other. There's certain essential oil smells I don't personally gravitate towards or care for, but doesn't mean they're not still valuable, or other people might not just love them, right? But I think it's like, let them express that. it's okay to have feedback that like, yeah, that just isn't my favorite. And you go, okay, well, people experience it differently. And I know for me, I'm so love these benefits of what it does for my body, and I just see it as like my beauty elixir
Love that.
for this, this mane that we talked about, that we're also grateful for dry shampoo. It's like, I'm so grateful for collagen. Thank you, collagen, and my skin, and my nails and, whatever. I get it. But it's not, we don't want them to feel dismissed or like they can express that, but we also don't have to like case build. We can just acknowledge and then redirect them back to here's the benefits of it. Yeah, like Christina says, I call it drinking from the fountain of youth.
Mm-hmm. So true. Okay. Chaz is asking, he's had 2 people placed on his team, and he's the sponsor and the enroller, and he's super grateful. They're both on LRP and help with his Power of 3. He's never met them, and he'd like to thank them for being a loyal customer. How would you connect or reach out and just build a connection there? So since he's not in contact with his upline who put them there, Tiff, what's your coaching on? How do you make a connection with a stranger?
Yeah. Well, strangers are just friends we haven't connected with yet. So, and again, the cool thing is they're there. I think again, it's like the how is I would, simply pick up the phone and reach out to them. And meaning that from a place is just like, hey, you just reach out and just say, hey, I'm Chaz. And when you got connected to doTERRA, we're technically connected in the same organization, and just wanted to reach out and get to know you and see how you're doing and see if there's anything I'd love to just get to know you better. And you might suggest scheduling a time to talk or things like that, or they might prefer text, but just like, hey, I'd love to learn more about you and, you and family and what that looks like and what your needs are. But I love that, Chaz. And I just think, again, most time is when we're reaching out, we're just extending kindness. I mean, kindness is so beautiful, and whether it leads to something large or not, I think that it's one of those things that's super, valuable to do.
Awesome. Love that. Okay,
Yeah.
I think Dr. Christine has a quick question or comment, and then we've got another question after that.
Hello. Thank you for bringing me on. Appreciate you. So first of all, day 1 hair for me. So I love everything you said. And wow, what a great call. You guys fill my cup every week. And on weeks that I miss you, I'm terribly sad. So I just want to thank you again. The Meta Power, I've been taking the advantage faithfully since convention. I love it. I can't understand how anybody doesn't, but I do program them. I kind of take them back to the days of Tang. My age group, I'm going to be 61 this month. We loved walking on the moon, the whole astronaut thing. So I kind of relate to that happy memory. I think that helps for the older crowd. The younger crowd, I encourage them to get on board with us older people who loved all that. But I have to tell you, you guys, yesterday I went to take my advantage. No joke, I could barely swallow it. It was so not pleasing to my palate. I literally could have gagged. And now I understood what people get. And I thought, but I am also going through a lot, gratefully so, right? Really, really good stuff, hard stuff, not going to go there. But I do believe there's just something going on with me, maybe physically, like my body's fighting something. I had to take my son in for surgery, so I was in a hospital setting. My husband had surgery. I mean, just a lot. And I think we forget that at least I forget that these are so pure and so nourishing. We don't often understand that our bodies change day to day. So what was great for me today might not be great for me tomorrow. So that kind of on that point, I just wanted to put that out there. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that. Today I drank it and it was awesome. I did want to ask, I signed up a medical doctor last week, y'all, and I'm so excited because thank you. I've been nourishing this soil for years. And my question is, it's a huge women's clinic. And I know she's like walking on eggshells here. She's not 100%. It's going to be a little bit of chiropractic and oils. Would it be advantageous for me, do you guys think, to invest in a website? I feel like I personally, for my brand, for my clout, if you will, should have something that I can present. And I thought about going with Jackie Merville, who's just an amazing young woman and very much part of doTERRA. So I would like your feedback on that. I don't have I just want to do what's going to propel me and be worthwhile. Does that make sense? Thank you.
Yeah. So I think the question there is, first of all, congratulations. That's a huge win. The question there is, what's my goal with a website? A lot of us feel like, I'm not professional, I'm not legitimate unless I have a website. But is there actually a real need that it would be filling? Like, what's this new medical doctor's process that she'll be using? You know what I mean? Like, if you can answer that question with a clear, like, absolutely, for her process, she needs a website that's not doTERRA's replicating website, all the my doTERRA that we all have, then maybe. But can you think of a real specific need, or is it more than just a feeling?
Good point. So I've lost, like, people have gone onto my doTERRA website and somehow they've not enrolled under me, and I don't catch it because I do a lot of different things. So I bump into people and they're like, okay, yeah, I signed up 6 months ago and I never heard from you again. I'm like, oh, really? I'm sorry. Like I feel like I'm not being a good steward. I feel like to have a funnel would be advantageous. I'm at the point now where I want to do more. I'm traveling from, New York, Pennsylvania. I'm in Georgia and I'll be going to Florida. I've really kind of found my niche as far as traveling and building, and organically it's taken a lot of time, but I feel like there's something I need next step. And Facebook is just not enough, I feel, at this point. And she might be more, I'm thinking, from a physician's point of view, because I have a lot of other colleagues, chiropractors who have signed up and they love the products, but it's just too complicated and they can't invest the time to build with their patients. So there's it's not a great income support at that to begin with. So if they can send people to something that's not every item and all, I love the healing hands and I love our mission, but they always say, find your niche, find that one thing. So they could piggyback into the anxiety for children with autism, or, the Clary-Calm for women who are just really struggling with hormones.
Mm-hmm.
So
my 2 cents on this is that you don't need a website to be credible.
Okay.
You don't.
Agreed.
Absolutely not. What the number one intention, I'm not saying it can't add to that conversation, right? But I think that what the number one reason to have a website or a landing page is to grow an email list. That's the number one reason.
Yes.
From a marketing perspective, the most important piece of real estate on a website or landing page is your free opt-in of some kind of juicy bit of content that they receive, or a worksheet or a diffuser blend, recipe booklet or something like that. But some kind of free, what we call an ethical bribe in online marketing, is that it gives them, you are growing an email list.
Mm-hmm.
It's a book by a gentleman named Jeff Walker. He's a great marketing teacher, called Launch, Launch, and the power again of growing an email list. But you don't need to do that in terms of to be quote credible. Now if you want to, you can for sure. But I think that again, that space and that relationship, they can also, right, like it's be an affiliate or how they're sharing or various things like that, and nourishing in that way. But in terms of, do I have to have a website to be credible? I just think that's not a true thought. you can have a website, and I'm not saying it can't help with credibility, but your credibility is like, you're this powerful creator and you have these great tools, sis, that can help support people. And the credibility is in Mother Earth, right? Like, this is Mother Earth in lots of little bottles. And the power of you owning that, like, I'm a vessel of teaching and sharing these things is powerful. But nothing wrong with putting up a one-page landing page. You know, hey, this is my why, my story. There's also, if you are going to do that, another great branding expert is a gentleman named Donald Miller. And he has a book called Creating a Story Brand. Is that when you're sharing online and on a website, in content and speaking, is the way that you're sharing and you're helping people, you know, the power of the way you story tell makes a big difference.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Tiffany. I just also want to add, you know, I've been on with you guys for a tiny bit, right? And for those of you who feel stuck, and you hear people say, just do it and push through. And I just want to say that just this morning, when I was having my wash day, you know, I finally bit the bullet and got the new shampoo and conditioner, which I love, by the way. I finally uncovered, we call it a seed, you know, like a seed that happened, something that happened to me forever ago that had caused a block for me. So I guess I just want to say thank you, because both of you have been really instrumental for me not walking away from this mission and not giving up on the calling that I feel I have with this health ministry. So you know, it's been a long time, but man, why didn't I see it before? You know, but I'm so grateful, and I'm so grateful to both of you. And I just, for those of you who feel stuck, you know, the young lady that's having that big event coming soon, yay for you. Enjoy every moment. And I just, you know, want to say thank you to both of you guys and encourage the rest of you here to just keep it on. You know, it is so worth it. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you so much for your kind words.
Yeah, so good.
We are cheering for you, and we're cheering for all of you.
Thank you.
So grateful for this whole community that, you know, we don't care who's crossline, who's upline. We all just cheer for each other. It's all just one big happy family. So it's so good to be part of it. Thank you all for jumping on with us this week, and for doing your part to take a stand for natural solutions, and being being an advocate. You know, there's so many things that you can advocate for these days. You can take a stand politically, you can take a stand like for so many issues, but I'm just grateful that this community takes a stand for something that lifts, blesses, heals, and inspires. I loved what Dr. Christine called it, her health ministry. And that truly is what it feels like. It feels like we're just on a mission, right? Just putting a healer in every home, however we do that, making a difference where we can. So thank you all so much. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Have a great week.